that I best act that a man can have to help him age like a fine wine. Because when you can, your spirit ages like a fine wine. I think you get more out of this life than anything. Whether whether you age physically, because you can look good on the outside and be sick on the inside. Right. You know what I'm saying? And your spirit can be weak, but even though your physical being, is well and it's strong. But if your spiritual being is sick and weak or empty, you're like a fine empty shell. Right. And I would rather my spirit be full, and then I can work on the physical and all the other things. Right. Anyway, moving right along. One of the things we also talked about, after we lay the foundation, with your faith and your sense of style, and you're maturing in your age, as a man gets older, and we hope that it would be wiser. We hope that it's wiser. That's the hope. But what are some things that a man should consider in regards to career and finances as he's getting older?
Well, the first thing I would hope most men consider is putting money away, savings, man. I think that's one of the biggest things in manhood that we can do, is to put money away for our kids and those things. Yeah. And a lot of times we don't know how to save, especially when you're early 20s, man. You're early 20s, you get that paycheck, you going to the strip club, and you gonna throw some dollars, man. Come on now, we all done did it, man.
We've done it.
We all done it. Get that check. Oh, I'm about to buy these Jordans, instead of saying, hey, let's put 20% of our check away, best put it in the bank, and just have it. And I think as you mature, you understand that some of that money that you threw at them dances, you probably could have had quite a bit of money in your savings account or in some kind of retirement account. Mm-hmm. And I think as you mature, you you better understand money.
You understand the value of
the value of money once you grow older, because you have no choice. You should get wiser as you go older, and I think money, you start to understand the value of money. Right. I wish I could call them girls back and say, hey,
let me get a little bit of that back. Let me get a few of them dollars.
Let me get a few of them dollars back.
Throw a few back at you.
That was my 401k money, baby.
You remember in 2007, in the winter, you was dancing at this club. I threw about 125. I'm gonna need a little bit of that back, but you can't.
That's light bill right there. You just threw it.
Yeah, but you can't.
But before you move on, Malcolm, talk about career-wise.
So career-wise, I think you have to find a career that's gonna make you happy. Right. And a lot of times, when we're in early 20s, we find careers that pays the bills.
Right.
And we are afraid to go out there and find something that we like to do. And we don't invest our time into learning new things that we like to do. Right. So I didn't ever think I was gonna be a salesperson, but I gave it a try, and I actually like it. I'm actually pretty good at it, if I say so myself. I don't think you can be bad at sales and be in sales for 8 years. Right. But I actually like it, and I'm actually really good at it. And so I think you have to find something that's gonna make you happy. And I always tell people that you will be replaced. So if you need to take your mental health day, take it.
Yeah.
Just find something that you can do for yourself and that you're happy with. Right. And you know what? If you get replaced, you already have a skill, and you'll be able to get another
that
job.
You can transfer elsewhere.
Yep.
That's true. Absolutely. Talk about career and finances, Clay.
So I think career-wise, I think it's important to, not get stuck into one thing, because like us all, when we were younger, we were doing like retail jobs, and you can learn like a few skills from there, like customer service and stuff like that. But it comes to a point where what you learn is gonna come to an end. So you need to transition to something else that's not only gonna make you more money, but also allow you to learn new skills that you can transition to something else. So I think that we oftentimes get comfortable in what we do because it's familiar and it's not necessarily benefiting us in the long run. We're just doing it because, hey, we can do it efficiently, we can do it with our eyes closed. But I think if you stay in that mindset, you're gonna severely cut yourself off from the additional things that you can learn that will propel you further. And finances wise, one thing that like now that I'm into is like stocks, and I wish I had gotten into it way earlier. I remember when I was in school, in art school, and I had this one professor. Every day she knew I worked at Walmart at the time when I was in school. She was like, "Oh, you work at Walmart? You are part of their stock plan?" I was like, "Nah." Like, I didn't know nothing about stocks or anything, but every day she would ask me, "You got some of that Walmart stock yet?" Because we could get it at a discounted rate being employees. I was like, "Nah." And now I'm like, dang. She would ask me every day, and I never had no interest in it. Now I wish that I had to put some of that money toward that stock then, because I would probably be in a way better position now if I had to listen to what that person said. So I think that's one of the lessons too. Like, when someone's telling you from experience something smart to do, you should at least listen to it and don't just write it off. So I think that far as finance wise, I think we definitely need to save, but you also need to invest too, so that your money can work for you as well. And if someone's telling you early on when you're younger, you're in your 20s, like, put some money into savings, put some money into investments, listen, because you will be in a whole lot better position in the future than you are now.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess I'll hit on finances first. So yeah, I mean, when you're young, you have a job or whatnot. You, like Malcolm was saying, pretty much all of us was saying, like, you want to buy J's or like earrings or different things like that, materialistic things or whatever. And I mean, that's cool or whatnot. But I mean, you gotta learn how to budget, pretty much. And then when you get older, I mean, it's okay to splurge on yourself, but you need to learn how to prioritize and not like do that the first thing. Like, take care, like saving your money, pay your bills and everything like that. Whatever else you have left, like, put a little bit aside, and then you could use that little small bit of change that you put aside to go have splurge on yourself or whatnot. For career wise, when we first started up in high school or whatever, I worked at a pizza place or whatever. Some people worked at like fast food, some other people worked at retail and everything like that.
I got fired from the grocery store.
But I mean, yeah. So like, at that time we're complacent. We're cool. We're getting a paycheck, and that's all we were thinking about. But now, as you get older, you shouldn't have that same mindset, because, like what you said, Clayton, if you have the same mindset, you're complacent where you're at. I mean, it's gonna hurt you in the long run. It's gonna be detrimental to you or whatnot. And you always want to make sure that you want to grow and learn as much as you can about the business, because, for example, what Malcolm said, if you get fired, hey, you have a whole you have a huge skill set that you can take on over to the next job, or you can start your own business. And a lot of people like are kind of I guess since they're complacent, they're scared to take that leap of faith. But I'll just say this, if you have that attitude that you don't want to work for somebody for the rest of your life or whatnot, maybe that's God telling you that, hey, it's time to take that leap of faith and start your own business or whatnot.
Preach, brother, preach.
Yeah, so
you gotta get the skills first.
true that.
Get the skills.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So and never say that you're too high and mighty to like do a certain job or whatever, because who knows, that could be a way for you to become a millionaire or something like that. So yeah,
exactly. Humble. Humble.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, career and finance wise, I mean, one of the things I can say definitely about career is, I think one of you touched on it. You got to have a career pathway that you enjoy, and it has to be something that you actually want to do. I mean, I think a lot of times, especially like our parents, if we think about our parents, sometimes I think they stuck with, and I applaud them for it. They stuck with a lot of jobs and things like that, or in the field that they did, out of necessity, because they had families to take care of. But you think about the day that we live in now, we live in a day where there's more options and things like that. There's a lot more resources and things like that out here for us. So we're able to. We do live in a day and age of choice. We have a lot more choices available to us, and I think it's really important for a man in his growth process to be in the right field. The last thing you want to do, especially when there are options out there, is to get complacent and stuck somewhere where you really don't want to be. Because if you're stuck somewhere, you're not going to perform at your best, and you're probably never going to reach your fullest potential, because you already don't want to be there. So you're not striving to move any higher. You're not striving to move any higher there. So get somewhere where you want to be. Like you guys already talked about. Look, first of all, a job is going to replace you. If you die today, they're going to post your position tomorrow. Before your family gets a chance to bury you, they're going to post your position. Right. So I'm not saying go out here and be careless, with a job and just, getting fired every single day and stuff like that, or, just jumping from job to job to job to job. That's not what I'm saying. You have to have some form of stability about yourself, but you also have to be honest with yourself. You have to be true to yourself about what it is that I want to do in this world for the rest of my life. And it's unfortunate some of us, we don't always get those choices, but for those that do, like Mazio was saying, look, if God is giving you the options and opening doors, look, walk through them. Right. No sense in staring at an open door. Because the door is not going to come to you. Right. I don't know any doors that's ever came to you. You always had to walk through a door in order to see what's on the other side. It's no different in life. If you want to see what's on the other side, you have to move. Finances wise, the same thing. You have to get yourself in a place, like I said, a career or a business or whatever the case may be, something that you enjoy doing where you can make the best impact, with the best ability that you have. But you need to be somewhere where you like to be. And like I said, we live in a world, again, choices. Now, and with your finances, it's all about being smart nowadays. Again, we have a lot of resources available to us. And as part of a man's growth, like Clay said, make your money work for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're going to work for the money, but at the same time, let some of that money work for you, be it stocks. Malcolm talked about savings. Mazio talked about prioritizing. All these things are important to a man's growth. Mm-hmm. Knowing where to spend your money, knowing where to invest your money, and knowing when to spend money or not spend money is really important for a man's growth. That is something that will help your finances age like a fine wine. Right. Mm-hmm. Because and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with wanting a $200,000 car, because I'm in love with those Maseratis. But
to make sure you can buy it twice.
Exactly. Yeah. But I'm not going to go and spend $150,000 on a car when I could throw that in, because $150,000 on a car versus $150,000 on a property. One of them, the moment I crank it up and drive it 10 feet, it depreciates almost 50%. Right. With the current market that we're in, a property for $150,000 is probably going to be $220 by next year. Mm-hmm. I've already, making a profit. So it's about prioritizing. Put your money in smart locations. Mm-hmm. Let your money work for you. But one of the things that I will say from a personal note, as far as finances, it is okay to tell people no. Mm-hmm. I think I'm not saying be selfish, because I do believe in the word, and God loves a cheerful giver. Right. And I love to give to those that I am able to help. But I cannot give you all that I have, because now you're the have and I'll be the have not. Now it's just a never ending cycle. Right. And I do like what Steve Harvey said one time. He said sometimes the best thing you could do for poor people is not be one of them. Because when you do that, you're taking away resources for those people. Right. So get off your butt and move. So as far as your finances, I'm a true believer, like Malcolm. I'm a true believer in, ain't nothing wrong with saving $10. It was only $10, but you know what? $10 every single week turns into, that's $520 a year. Right. Yep. And if you can compare, that's just $10. Right. And now some people can't save $10 because even after they pay bills, get paid, they're in a negative. I get that, but for those of us who have 10, 15, $20 left over, why am I save $20? Because at the end of the year, that's a whole $1,000. Mm-hmm. Right. Yep. And if you compound that each year, you in a few years, just don't touch it. You can't tell me $20 you can't.
You put that $1,000 you put in every year into a Roth IRA, it's gonna add up.
Yeah, $1,000 could turn into $20,000 just like that. Right. And when you want that new car now you got $20,000 to put down on that car if you so want to. Right. Or that's $20,000 in stocks. 20,000 in stocks could easily become 100,000 with the right investment. Yeah. So it's just about, like I said, aging like a fine wine is not all about looks. That's part of it. We want to take care of ourselves. We want to take care of ourselves physically, but we need to make sure that our spiritual, our financial, and our emotional are in line. Because when the planets are out of line, I don't know where I was going with that one, but y'all roll with me. I was on the roll.
But you said something that, and I just thought about it. But back then, like our grandparents or whatever, they had the jobs that they had, and they weren't. And who knows, they might not have been happy within it. Which I kind of feel like that's sad. But then I look at them. I guess I admire them for that, because it's like they were in jobs that they probably didn't like. Mm-hmm. But they did it because they had a family and whatnot, and they, broke their backs to make sure that they provided for their family, everything like that. But then now, we have the opportunity to, change our career paths or whatever. So I thought that was kind of amazing. But then also I felt bad for, our ancestors back then.
Yeah, they made the sacrifice so that we can have the options that we have
absolutely.
today.
Yeah. They endured it for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, so the gratitude is there. And like, I thank them for foregoing choices so that we could.
Right.
We could pick up and change our entire career path today because of their sacrifice. So, so I'm appreciative to that.
We got so many options too, man. With that and technology, like,
absolutely.
We have tons of options.
You could start from the ground up tomorrow.
Got no excuse not to be great.
Right. Exactly, because there's too many options out there. As far as maturing, how has your view on relationships? Your view on relationships changed over here, and I know Malcolm and Mazio, I know they're married, but you won't
talk about it.
You won't always married, so
wasn't always married. And I used to say I was gonna be a player forever, man. But I'm
tell
telling
me the
you,
exact time you say I'm gonna be a player for life.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, having somebody that you can come home to talk to about things that's going on in your world is the best thing on the planet, man. Right. Somebody that you can confide in. And I think relationships are great when you get older, because you typically know how to handle those things. You should not be as emotional as you are in your early 20s. A lot of times we quick to break up with somebody over anything. You break up with a friend, you break up, and it's small things. And as you grow older, you understand that, hey, maybe I shouldn't have this argument, or maybe I was wrong, and then you apologize for those things. I tell you, man, my wife, she can go out of town for a day or two, but I'll be missing her after one day, because that's who I talk to every day when I come home.
I'm trying to get some brownie points.
Yeah, I might be trying to get a little cutty tonight. But I think relationship is important, health wise and mental wise as well. Right. We like to be single. We think we can just come home and do everything that we want, but at times you will get lonely, right. And that's what you need a partner for.
Yeah, I think my view on relationships has changed significantly, because when we were younger, that was probably the last thing that we were thinking about. We were just thinking about being young and wild. I think we don't appreciate it as much back then as we do now, right. Because we see that everybody wants someone to do life with, and if you get the right person, they can and you should of course be complete on your own, and right. Before you get into a relationship. But it's a lot of things that you're gonna learn along the way, because right. You don't know everything, and I think that's the beauty of it. Because you don't know everything, you have someone who can be a counterweight to and help you along, and have a different perspective on the world, and different experiences, and different information that can help grow you. So I think I just value it more than back then.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like the younger generation, or I guess when we were young or whatnot, we were just caring about getting busting that nut or whatnot. I'm gonna say, I mean, yeah, it is, but I'm just saying, like, that was the main.
We didn't care about relationship.
Exactly.
After we bust that nut, we didn't want to talk to the girl no more.
Right. Exactly. But no, I mean, but over time, like you start to
now you got the cuddle and stuff,
right?
Right. Go ahead, man.
Go ahead, so you can move on.
But no, when you get older, I mean, like Malcolm said, like having a relationship is a beautiful thing, and when you find that right person, that right, your right spouse, you can weather the storm together or whatnot, and you won't be by yourself. Because I mean, with the stress, that you have to deal with within this like world that we live in today. Jobs, family, whatever. At least you have a companion there that you can be able to get that stuff out, and they can do the same thing. So, and then that person can make you a better person, and you can make them a better person, whatever. Or I guess y'all can help each other out to become better together, I should say. But yeah, I mean, when you get older, hopefully your mindset changes, and you're about trying to find someone that has your best interest at heart, instead of just trying to get that nut, But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
I think we've reached our nut capacity. I don't think we can say it no more.
I don't think we can say that no more. We gonna get fined by the damn FAA.
Oh, yeah,
We're not even governed by the FAA. Anyway, I would say as far as my outlook on relationships and how it's matured over the years, only thing I can really say is that when I was a little bit younger, definitely before 30, my outlook on relationships was just very casual.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm like some of you guys, I wasn't even really thinking about a relationship. It was all about me, as I've said before. My life was really all about me then. What I wanted, what I can get out of it, whereas now I'm a little bit more, I'm a lot more focused on not only what I can get out of it, but what can I put into this situation, and I don't see a relationship as just some entity that, everybody enters into because that's just a thing to do. But I also see the value in that. And I'm not gonna lie, look, we all went through that player phase. We all went through that, where we thought it was cool to be out here playing girls. I'm not saying there's anything wrong. Look, everybody goes through that phase or whatever. You're going to go through that, but it is important to come out of that phase. And that was one of the things that, I can honestly say that I have outgrown. I don't see the benefit in it anymore. I don't even see, it's not even attractive to me anymore. Now, as a single man, there are ways that I will conduct myself a little bit differently than a man that is in a relationship. I do explore options, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a single man. So that's natural to do. That's not about playing anybody. That's just about conducting myself as a single man.
Right.
Nah, I ain't out here sleeping with half of Raleigh because that's also not attractive to me anymore. You know what I'm saying? The way that something like that may have been some years back. Like, I'm like, well, I'm single. I'm gonna just do me. Doing me don't necessarily mean doing everybody around me. You know what I'm saying? So like the way I look at the whole relationship scene now, that it is a goal. It is a goal, but like the two fellas sitting next to me and adjacent of me, I want to get it right. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just jump into one just to say that I'm in it. So I want to get it right, but I do see the value in it, and that, like Malcolm said, it is nice to have somebody to come home to and to talk to. You got that, you pretty much got that forever companion, that forever friend, and those are one of the things that I long for. There's a lot of men out here, past their 20s and 30s and stuff like that who still think it's cool to just hit on every chick they come up to and I'm gonna do this. I think men like that feel like they got something to prove. I'm not judging them because to each his own, but I feel like sometimes they feel like they have something to prove. I have nothing to prove. I done been there, did that. I know I can get this girl, talk to this girl, that girl. I done been there and did that. I have nothing else to prove. The only thing I have left to prove now is to myself. And that is the ultimate challenge. Is not how many girls I can get, is can I get this one and can I keep her happy? To me, that's a better challenge than can I get 10 girls? Hell, I know I can do that. I've been there, did that. That's not a challenge. Nor is it a worthy goal. You know what I'm saying? So, I like I said, it's not. I don't see it casual anymore. To me, like it's a serious thing now. And it's one that needs to be considered carefully. Like I said, I don't want to just be with any old body. Clay and I, we talk about this, from time to time, we're single men. Like, we don't just want to just be with any old body, just for damn heaven's sake, just to say I'm with somebody. I don't want to, because I plan on spending the rest of my life with that one person. I don't want to get married 2 and 3 and 4 times. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be in my 50s and my 60s still trying to figure it out. I would like to, man, shut up. I would like to get it right now, God willing, if it's in God's timing, but if it is, I plan on only doing it once. The only way I plan on leaving that, if things go well, is, dying.
Right.
Or if she died first, whatever the case may be. As we get older, what are some areas of personal improvement you start to focus on? And we do talk about health and fitness, but speak upon your personal experience though.
Well, I think I'm more calmer and I have a lot of peace, man. As you go older, you mature and you understand that your peace is very important.
Yes.
And you don't allow people to get you out of your peace.
Right.
You don't go places that you probably gonna get into an argument, and you just don't argue with stupid people anymore because they gonna take you out of your peace. So I come home. This is my place of peace. The world is already hard, but I have this place of peace, and I'm not about to argue with anybody to get me out of my peace. So if you come here and chill, we both can be at peace. But if you want to argue, then you can also leave my place of peace.
Right.
And I just think I found my peace, and I think I'm more calmer than I used to be in my early 20s.
Oh yeah. You gotta tell him the trophy story one day.
Yeah, I'll tell you the trophy story one day, man. But yeah, I think I'm a lot calmer as I matured over the years, and I have found my place of peace.
Good, Clay.
I think for me, the area that I seen like the most growth in is just being aware of like my part in things, whatever it may be, like relationships or whatever. Because I think oftentimes, as men or women, whatever, if you like have like a failed relationship or you have something that didn't go right, like you lost your job or like whatever, something negative happened, and I think we as people we often default to what these people did and forget our part and our responsibility in the outcome of whatever that situation may have been. So I think anytime where you got an area where you've had something adverse happen, you lost your job or what have you, you think it's unfair, I think instead of finding someone to blame or something to blame, the first area you have to look in is yourself. Yeah. So I think self-reflection is one thing that I value more than anything now, and find out what could I have done better, or what could I have not done to make the outcome better, and going forward, make those same actions that I took in the past something that a path that I don't go down again.
Right. I'll say the two things for me. When I was younger, y'all can attest to this or whatnot. I was I don't want to say I was a people pleaser, but if someone asked me if I was going to do something, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be there or whatnot, and I don't. I wasn't a man of my word or whatnot. But as time went on, I tried to, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna mean that. I mean I'm gonna do it or whatnot, because your word means everything. Mm-hmm. And then another thing is patience. Patience was never my strong point when I was younger, but over the years, and especially having my wife, my wonderful wife Marissa, and then my awesome kids, I have a lot more patience than I used to. I don't get angry. It's just like that anymore. Just dealing with them and just growing with them and my wife. It just taught me that it's sometimes it's not always good to just jump at the first thing that happens, whatever, or take action. Stand back and allow things to work out through God, and everything else will follow through. So
absolutely. Personal improvement that I have began to focus on over the years. One, Clay touched on that, and that's accountability. Mm-hmm. Because years ago, I was one of those. It was like, oh, they did this or they did this. Relationship failed because of her, or the job this because of that, or my family member did this. And it's like now, thanks to God that I'm actually able to turn the mirror on me first now. Mm-hmm. And, when something happens, the first thing, don't get me wrong, I'm human. So I still get mad sometimes, mm-hmm. and I still need a minute to blow off a little steam. So, and I do, I go in my corner or I stay to myself a little bit, and I do reflect, and I take a moment. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is what happened, but what part of this did I play? Mm-hmm. What part of this did I cause? And it's so interesting. I spoke to one of my I spoke to two of my exes over the last, some odd months or whatever, and it was really just a casual conversation. And don't get me wrong, I initiated the conversation because it took me some time to realize some of these things, but I was able to sit down, have a conversation. It was something about the past, like we're over it, we passed it. Right. She's moved on, I've moved on, but it was one of those where we were both able to speak on it objectively, and I was actually able to really see my part in things. And not only that, I was able to give her the apology she so deserved for the things that I did. We weren't talking about the things that she did, because that's on her. Right. She has to deal with that. But for me, I needed that lifted off me. So I was able, and I'm able to do that a little bit better now, to hold myself accountable for my actions and the part that I play, because I'm not innocent, I'm not perfect. I don't care how good of a man I think I am in a breakup. I mean, unless she just did something flat out stupid and I was just like, all right, I'm out. Other than that, it's a two-way street. And it could be more one person's fault than the other. I don't really care about whose fault it is more. Right. I still played a part in this, and I have to acknowledge that. And even with the people around me, it's important for me to recognize my part, And then the other thing of personal improvement and growth that I focus on so much now, some people around me notice. So sometimes I do become a recluse a little bit sometimes. It's not because I don't want to be around people and stuff like that. I'm like Malcolm, my peace is everything. Mm-hmm. When I was a little bit younger, I had no peace. Everything got a response. I got mad at everything. I argue. I was, all of that. Now, everything that somebody does or says doesn't require me to give a response. Every now and then again, I do give a response. Trust me. And when I do, that's not me losing control. That's me choosing to give a response. Right. But what people should realize is that 9 times out of 10, when they say and do things to me, I don't give a response. Because I know everything doesn't require one, because my peace of mind, why would I interrupt my peace? And I finally have embraced, God's word. And he says, when you have that peace that passes all understanding. And I finally know for the first time in my life over these last few years what that really means. And that means that even though hell is all around me, hell is breaking loose all around me, I still have peace. Mm-hmm. Because I know that I don't have to be involved in everything. I can't carry everybody's weight. I can't do that anymore. Because I'm like Malcolm, why would I allow others to interrupt my peace? My peace is more valuable than gold. It's more valuable than diamonds. It's more valuable than any amount of money you could ever offer me. I'll keep my peace. You can keep your money if it means giving up my peace. Okay. So that was just some personal improvement things that we do begin to focus on as men. And I will say this to men that are listening: if you have not found some of these things, I don't care what age you are, if you're 40, 50, 60, 70, as long as there's breath in your body, you still have time to find your areas of personal improvement, whatever they may be. Maybe yours is not peace. Maybe it's not accountability. Maybe yours is just, I don't know, being a man of your word. Like mine said, it's those, things like that. These great characteristics that make a man a man. Right. But whatever yours is, find it. And it's not too late to improve upon it. I hope to be improving upon myself to the day I close my eyes. Right. So, but as we get ready to close out, fellas, take a second. What would y'all say to your younger selves about, with the knowledge you have now, and to help that young man age as gracefully as we have, or as we are now? What would you say to your younger selves?
I just say take the time to understand that life is long, and during your life you should grow and you should expect to be wiser every year. I used to tell my nephew Trey this, is that every day that you wake up you should try to learn something new. Yeah. If you don't learn something new every day, then that's a lost day. And I used to tell Trey that every day. Hopefully he's waking up tomorrow and he's trying to learn something new. And every day learn something new, and I promise you will get wiser, and you will be a really, really good man at 35 and 36.
Absolutely.
I would tell my younger self is don't be afraid to fail, because you're gonna get another day to improve upon, yesterday. So just give yourself time to grow and learn all you can, and be accountable. Like if you face some adversity, like just analyze the situation, what happened, and what you can do to be better if you're faced with a similar situation in the future.
Thing I'll tell my younger self is to not be scared. Take that leap of faith. If you don't have the background, I don't want to say background, but the people to back you up on that. If it's something that you really want to do, you go after 100%.
Do it.
I would tell. That's why I would tell my younger self. So
absolutely, and I have to piggyback on what Mazio just said. One of the things I would tell my younger self is literally four letters. Just one word: move.
Yeah, move.
Just do it. I wish I could really sit my younger self down and just, out of all the things I probably could tell my younger self, to do differently and, this, that, and the third, it would be really to just have the confidence in yourself and move. When I was younger, I had so many ideas and so many things hit my head, and I was afraid to move. Good ideas they died right at the brain, because I was afraid to take that leap of faith, and I was afraid to move. So I think that's probably the most important thing I can leave with a younger Vincent, is to just go for it. You're smart, you have the skill set, you have the knowledge. We all did. Especially back then. Just move, do it. Anyways, it's been another episode of the After 29 podcast. Until next time, peace.
Peace.
Peace.